Stemheads! Today we're going to take a tour of Smith Optics. We're going to get to see their inventions, like these goggles right here, and some other cool stuff. Let's go! Hey Jason.
How's it going?
Great. Thanks for taking the time to meet with Stemheads and the Utah Manufacturers Association.
You bet. Glad to be here.
Do you mind if I maybe ask you some questions?
Sure.
All right. I know you guys make a lot of goggles, but how did you even get the idea of making goggles in the first place?
Well, so the guy who started our business, Dr. Bob Smith, he was actually an orthodontist who was just an avid skier. Hated having fogged up lenses when he'd go out and ski, so he developed the first dual-lensed goggle, which is kind of what every current goggle is made to do, and it prevents fogging. So he saw a need, and he took care of it. He was selling them out of his van on the weekends, and that's how Smith started.
How long ago was that?
It was 1965.
I never knew that you've been making goggles for over 50 years.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
Can you tell me some of the improvements you've made since the first goggle?
Sure. So, after the development of the dual lens, we added actually a fan to give us better ventilation. After that, we did some stuff in kind of the motocross world, and we developed a roll-off film for our goggle. So when you would get mud splashed up on your goggle, you didn't have to clean off your goggle, you just pulled the film off. We were actually the first ones to do an easily interchangeable lens on your goggle, so you could change your lens for different snow conditions and lighting conditions. Now we've even taken that a step further and added a magnetic lens change, so it's super easy to change your lens out now. Now you don't have to try and fit it into a frame, it's just a magnetic switch.
Wow, so goggles have really changed since then.
Yeah.
I've read from your website that you made the warp goggle. Can you explain that? Because to me, it sounds like you're putting a portal on your face.
Yeah, kind of. So the warp goggle is, we introduced something called an outrigger on the goggle, and it's where the strap connects on the goggle. And what it did is it actually moved the point of where it connects so that you would get a more consistent fit on your face. With the previous goggle, you couldn't really use helmets with them either because it would splay out the goggle away and you wouldn't get a nice tight seal. So the warp goggle, we created this outrigger, and that made it so that you would get a very consistent fit regardless of face shape or if you were wearing a helmet or not.
Not as cool as a portal on your face, but I guess it's still cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
How did you guys start making helmets? Because I only thought you made goggles.
So we got into helmets back in the early 2000s, I believe. We saw a need. People go big on the mountain, send it, and a helmet makes sense. People have been wearing them on bikes for a long time, so we saw a need in the market for the helmet. We also saw that there needed to be good integration between the helmet and the goggle. If you don't have a good, nice, tight fit there, you can have a brown line that gets really cold, or your ventilation stops working very well through the goggle. So we got into the helmet world and put a lot of focus on making sure there was good integration and a good seal. So as you see on some of when you look at one of our goggles mated up with our lenses, you get a really nice tight fit here, and then you get ventilation that comes up and flows through the rest of the helmet. So integration became really important as we got into the helmet world.
So what's next? Armor?
So we're focused on helmets and the stuff for your head right now.
Yeah. How is STEM involved in making goggles?
Oh man, how isn't it? We deal with everything from the design of the product to the materials we use. In our manufacturing and production processes, we use it. Science goes into our quality testing. Technology, we use a lot of technology-assisted drawing. In our manufacturing, we're using mathematics that the finance team likes to know if we're making money or not, so they get really excited about the math. So yeah, I think every job that happens here in the Smith factory, we're using STEM one way or another.
Wow. I never knew that much STEM went into making goggles.
Yeah, it's critical for us.
Why is Smith Manufacturing a great place to work? What makes it fun?
Oh, there's a few things that make it fun. First off, we make really cool product. It's exciting for people to be able to work on and make products for the things that they love to do. That's why I'm here. Other things that make it fun are the people we get to work with. We're a team here. We win together and we lose together. Some days we're not going to win, and we know that's okay. So we really try to focus on having a good time at work. We can be serious about the products we make because they're important products. They keep people safe, they improve their performance, but we like to have fun, so we don't have to be serious about ourselves.
This is very inspirational.
Well, thank you.
This has been fantastic. Would you mind taking us out to see how your goggles are made?
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right, let's go.
So we'll start down at the very beginning of the process and I'll work our way back to this. So you can see the whole thing. This is kind of the first step of the whole process. This is where the material comes in. The raw materials, the individual pieces that go into our goggles come in here. We have a team that the first thing they do is they check the parts and make sure we got the right part. They said they sent this many, they check that the counts are right. From there, they'll send it over to this team, which is our quality team. They're gonna make sure that not only is it the counts right, but they're gonna check that the color is right, the geometries and the shapes and the dimensions are all right as well. We'll walk through our testing lab where you'll see some more science and things too. But we call these first articles or samples of all the material that's gonna come in. They have a sample of something they can check it against and verify, yes, we got the right one. So you can see, this is a good place to come and see just the variety of everything we do. You can see all the different lens combinations there are. These are all the different colors of frames and straps that we have. Thousands of straps, it feels like sometimes. So that's one of the really cool things about the Smith product is just the variety. There's something for everybody. So this is our quality lab. The next step after the quality team verifies it looks right, then it has to come in here for some really objective tests to make sure impacts are good, the light transmission is correct. And so I'm gonna actually turn the time over to my buddy Matteo here, who's our global quality manager for Smith. And he can talk through some of the different tests and things we do in here.
First of all, nice to meet you. Matteo.
Hi.
I'm Matteo, quality manager for Smith Optics. I'm here for 2 years now with Smith. And this one is our little diamond of our manufacturing facility where we test most of the material that arrive from our vendors. And so we bring here lenses, finished product, we bring here sunglasses. As you can see here, we have some product that is gonna be ready to be tested soon. And so our laboratory can make all different type of tests, from physical test to transmission. So essentially we need to certify our lenses. Here we have our rose flash lens too. And this one is how are the lenses before being cut. Okay, and then we assemble them on the frame. So as you can see, if we have a light source that could be the flashlight of my phone, for example, okay, this lens is gonna to have a transmission of the light only of a few percentage, right? You are gonna have more light transmission on this one because it's lighter. Here you can see that the light is less transmit from the other one. So you wanted to use this lens if you are skiing, biking, when outside the sun is pretty bright. A cloudy day, you prefer to wear something like this. You ever wonder why you see colors? Like why my t-shirt is black or why this paper is white? The light source is the sun. The light arrives, hit an object, that object is going to absorb part of the light and reflect another part. The part that is going to reflect and hit on your eyes, you see that color. We call them wavelengths. This machine is going to use a different wavelength to see how much light is going to pass through the lens. You saw our goggles, right? There is a strap that go around your head to have the goggle in place. This machine is going to test the strap. You can pull your goggle out to grab them, remove them. We need to test that the strap is going to be strong enough that doesn't break. So it's gonna be a traction machine.
It's kind of like a rubber band.
Exactly, yeah, that's right. So right now we're gonna to see a test. The ignition test is gonna have this part that is gonna be super hot. We put that part in contact with our lenses. because we want to be sure that will not start any fire, because if not will be a problem. Imagine that you are shooting or playing with something that is very hot. Touch your lenses, imagine if your lenses start getting fire.
Yeah, it's on fire.
It was gonna be a problem for your face, right? And so you see, here we have Frank. Here we go.
It's going to be about 1250.
1250. 1005. Here we go. Okay, and here now is touching the lens with the hot metal core. Here we go.
Yep, and then we're testing to see if it starts on fire. So this one did not start on fire. It's hot, so,
You see?
it's hot, so be careful.
The impact test. So we place the lenses here for 2 hours, so they get around 32 Fahrenheit. And then we use this guy here. And so we place the lens very quickly from here to keep the temperature very low. And then using this one, we place this one right here. And when we have the lens in place, we release it. And then we evaluate if the lens is gonna break or not. And here, as you can see, we have a different type of penetration test. This one is the most difficult to pass. Only our elite lenses, safety lenses, can pass this test. As you can see, we have Frank up there.
Yep. Yeah, and this is
And you see that we have the goggle, the sunglasses that we just tested with the ignition. So we're gonna to hit them with a mini 1000 gram.
1, 2, 3.
Here we go. Check the sunglasses.
Just one dent.
But no breakages. Your eyes are still safe, right? And try to feel how much weight is the dart.
It's heavy.
And you see also the point here is very sharp too. But overall, you can still use your eyes after something like this, right? We have a test where we needed to use a gun because we needed to have this projectile.
We just have to make sure when something smacks you in the eye or something that the lens don't pop out or glasses don't break. We're gonna shoot this one, the sunglass one.
You see, there is an headphone over there that is wearing the sunglasses. And so the projectile will pass through this tube here. And here there are 2 sensors, one here and one here, that measure the velocity.
Projectiles in there, load, recoil, safety, and shoot. And right there's the impact of the lens when it got shot.
It's fine. Your eyes are still intact.
And that was going at 651 feet per second.
Wow, it's crazy.
So our lenses are protected with an anti-fog coating that we use this machine to evaluate. What this machine has inside here is water that is going to evaporate through this hole. We place our lens sample and you see that there is a laser going through. This one is going to measure how much of that light passes through the lens. We want to be sure that if you ski and you enter in the lodge, you don't have the problem of having a lot of water, drop of water generating inside your goggle, right? We use a mineral that is called kryptonite. You ever heard about kryptonite? Probably watching cartoons. So this kryptonite, if you can see, is very abrasive. And so what we're gonna do, we cover the lenses with this kryptonite, and this machine is going to perform cycles of abrasion. How it works. Move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So you imagine those lenses covered with the kryptonite that are shaking. This one is the before the test. You see how it's pretty clean without anything major. And this one is after. As you can see, there is a halo over here. And so what we wanted to evaluate is the clarity of the lens.
Then it comes out to this area, and this is where we're going to start to cut the lenses. We're going to cut the foam. So we're going to cut these lenses out of sheets of material. The foam gets cut out on a die cutter over here, which we'll show you. So this is what those lenses were cut out of. So we'll take these sheets and we put them through here. They roll through this process, and in about 3 seconds, it cuts all of those out. This is Max.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Max is our senior product engineer here at the Smith manufacturing plant.
Yep.
So I'll turn it over to you to Max to talk about, you know, some of the ways we use computer-assisted drafting and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you guys want to take a spin over to my computer, I'll kind of show you what some of our computer design looks like for goggles. The very first thing that we start with for a goggle is designing the frame. In this case, we've got a design team that's located up in Portland, Oregon, and they come up with what the aesthetics are for the goggles. So they say that they want you know, a nice curve here, and a piece of the frame that sticks out at the lens here, and you know, any little design features that they want to include in it. In this example, we've got a little piece here of plastic that allows you to add an adapter for people that need corrective lenses, so they can get their prescription cut into an adapter and then load it up into this frame. And so our design team comes up with that, and then from there we have an injection molding supplier that comes up with the design for the tool that will actually produce this part. That's a big part of our job, is to make sure that these designs are going to come out the way that we want them to. What do you think?
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've got this example right here, and we just foamed this up today. So we installed the face foam and the vent foam on it today, and we're going to build it up in front of you so you can see, you know, the complex nature of our assembly. So if you want to take off your glasses and see if that fits your face, you know, before we do any more work onto it, you know, it should feel like it's a pretty comfortable fit for your face. So Corey, would you mind assisting us for it? So
Not a problem.
You guys can watch him assemble this goggle. He's got it kitted out to where we've got all the parts ready to go for it. We got 2 unique designs for you that are, you know, exclusive to Stemheads. So, you know, you could do a 50-50 match too if you want, one side and one side. That's kind of what I would do if I were you.
Those magnets on the front of the frame, they correspond to these magnets on the back of the lens. So then, all we got to do is just lay the lens on there, make sure that the frame matches up with those magnets, and you heard it kind of click in.
Yep.
Now it's all the way in there. Your goggle's good to wear and go out on the slopes.
This is the coolest gift I got in like ever.
It's pretty cool.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking your time to do this.
You bet, Liam. It's been a pleasure having you here.
The goggles were insane. I was not expecting those.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. It'll be easy to find you on a mountain now because you got the only strap like that out there.
Yeah. If people wanted to learn more about Smith, where would they go?
Just to our website. Our website has, you know, all of our product. It has a great history of how we came to be and the things we do. It's just smithoptics.com.
All right. Thank you, man.
You bet.